What an unusual construction. I've seen many things in my life, but that... These look like lockers for miners or guards. There's normally a way to let them down somehow. There are codes engraved in the bottom. I could just enter the code from this locker into the key. Looks like the workers' washroom. What did they wash with, since water's so rare around here? You can always rely on the Arcanides. Anything that proves effective becomes a standard that lasts for a very long time. Let's see what the former owner of this locker left behind. Looks like most of it's no longer useful. What's that hard thing? A metal rod. I'm sure it'll come in handy. I could just enter the code from this locker into the key. That doesn't seem to be the right code for this lock. Well, tidy it isn't. I wonder if I'll find anything useful in here. The strap here is made of elastomer. Could be stratoplast. I could just enter the code from this locker into the key. It's broken off. Great. So much for Arcanide craftsmanship. I assume nobody's opened this locker in centuries. What do we have here? A file or a screwdriver or a bottle opener? No idea, but tools always come in handy. These parts seem familiar somehow. It looks as though I'll need one more to get this thing going again. I'm curious to see whether this will really... Ouch! Whoa, it's live! All I'm going to get for my pains are burnt fingers. If I wrap this elastomer, or whatever this is, around here, the stick will be completely insulated. Great. If only everything in life was so easy. What are these levers for? The writing is completely worn off, and these few signs could mean anything. Well, look, the metal rod seems to be the missing handle. Wonderful. Now I should be able to use the switch. According to that symbol, it could be a switch used to activate the power. It doesn't have a noticeable effect, though. I can't move the lever. It's completely buried in the surface underneath. No chance. This lever hasn't been moved by anyone in centuries. What a strange arrangement. It could be a lock or a kind of mechanism. What a strange arrangement. It could be a lock or a kind of mechanism. Okay, and what's this gadget for? What's that? It looks like a seatbelt or a swing. The doors are welded shut from this side. Whatever's behind them isn't supposed to get out. The prisoner's quarters. Something about an experimental wing. I can't make out any more. There are a few names. Jeffer Zalem? Baal Grant? Narthum? Just a minute. Quentin Bartholomew. Doesn't sound like an Arcanide name. QB. Quater Bat. Well, it would make sense. You can't get in there. Those are huge sewage pipes. And judging by the way they stink, I wouldn't want to go in there anyway. Wow, what a wind! That must be a shaft or the ventilation system. It could be difficult to get through there. What an insane structure. I've no idea how far down I've come into the mine shaft, but it continues right down into bottomless depths. This is some kind of control panel or unit. It's deliberately been destroyed. Perhaps I can cobble together something temporary. I'm no technician, but I did train with the U.S. Space Force. It looks as though there's some components missing. They'll need to be replaced to use the control panel or whatever that is. Goodness only knows what kind of tragedy was played out here. Something bloody's been dragged along here. The blood's still fresh. It's as dark as the shadows of the moon in there. I have no desire to end up as a meal for the organ hunters. Hopefully this will keep those creatures off me.
Light.
You're still alive? You'll bleed to death. I've got nothing to bind your wounds with. Oh no.
It's okay. It's too late. I can't feel my body anymore anyway.
What can I do for you?
It's enough to know that I will die in the company of a civilized life form. I'm Baldrian Hamilton. Up here they call me Mad Hamilton.
Hamilton? I've heard a lot about you. I'm Perry Rhodan. Nice to meet you.
Perry Rhodan? I thought you were just a hero from a science fiction series. What an honor. Da Trumort. He's got almost as much on his conscience as that darned plague. Everywhere else, he's known as a common thief. But in Elmo Dater, he's the king of thieves.
What could he have been looking for in the lower levels?
What would anyone be looking for down here? I've seen just a tiny part of the black levels, but from what I've seen, this whole moon has been mined. Mined using ancient pain. Have you ever heard of Venice? It's an ancient city on Terra.
Yes. I originally wanted to spend my honeymoon there. Back when it still existed.
They say it was built entirely on pillars. That's how this city was constructed too, on the pillars of the Arcanides' sins.
What do you mean?
This whole epidemic thing. All the poor creatures suffering and dying in the quarters. Do you think that was a natural disaster? There's something here. Quarterbat knows the way to it. I was with him. I saw him. He really exists, and he's still alive. But it was hard to find him. My energy was spent. The way back was too long.
So that's why your lamp has gone out. But please, tell me more about Quarterbat.
He must be very old. Some say immortal. He came here voluntarily when the Aras began the tests on the prisoners. A well-known Terran scientist.
Quarterbat's a Terran? Are you sure?
He hasn't been a Terran in a long time. If he was, he is the only one who's ever come here. Except for you, of course.
I wouldn't just leave a dying man to those cannibals.
Perry Rhodan. Now, it's getting cold. Just leave me here.
But I can't just leave you behind.
Don't worry about me. Find your way. I don't need a hole in the ground. I'll be more useful this way. Perry Rhodan. It was an honor.
And I can't do anything more for you now. Rest in peace, Baldry and Hamilton. The organ hunters obviously couldn't do anything with this. The light at the surface was never this bright. This has got to be coming from some kind of atomic sun which supplies the lower levels with light. Something's been wrenched out of this bracket. Krems was right. These sight lenses might actually still be useful. Concave or convex? That must be the right way. I'm getting the impression that this thing gets bigger and bigger the further down I go. This looks nothing like a mine anymore. It fits. Then this is that unique transport system here on Gom Calidus. Whatever it is, just hanging onto the pulley isn't going to work. It's not going to hold. Okay, this cone might fit in here. No, perhaps this way. No, somehow they don't fit together. If I modify this assembly a little bit, sand down this cone here and here, and bend this here round, I might be able to attach it to the transport bracket. Let's see if this works. And there we are. It's a little bit improvised, perhaps, but I'm not looking to win any product design prizes. I can't even see the ground here, and I'm trusting myself to a piece of equipment that might be 10,000 years old. That brings the relative nature of my immortality a bit closer to home. Right, let's go. What a mess! It looks as though a battle's been fought here.